Jeanette, I assume that you heard nothing about public comments. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I'll just advise you now, I do have an addition to the agenda when we get there.
Okay. Perfect. First item on our agenda is the minutes of December 5th that were sent to you today for your review. I assume you've all had a chance to look at them. So I would like a motion to accept the minutes of December 5th. Pat, are you muted? Can't hear you.
You're muted.
Okay, you're muted.
There we go.
Okay, good, perfect, very good. Assuming everybody's had a chance to look at them. All right, a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Janet, okay.
So that was,
It was Arnie's suggestion a while ago that we have a roll call vote asking only for dissenting votes or absent, and also absent to all those people who were, Arnie, you were absent, so you can't vote on it. And the other two people are not here right now. So all those in favor of accepting the minutes? Are there any are there any dissenting? It has to be roll call because it's Zooming. It gets confusing when we're just doing it this way. So anyhow, are there any dissenting votes to accept the minutes? If so, please speak up. Hearing no dissenting votes and knowing that there are three absent, then motion carries. Okay.
so just for the record, because Viviana's not here and Nancy and I are scribbling in the format here, I'm getting 601 on that vote, so that it was 6 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 abstention.
Yes, exactly. And 2 absentees. Right.
They don't count. Tonight, they don't count.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. All right. Additions to the agenda, you've already said that there is an addition, so.
Yes, something happened today that we would like to tell you about. So I'm going to ask for someone to make a motion to include transportation program into the human services report. If somebody would make that motion.
I'll make a motion to do so.
Okay, and a second?
I can second.
Okay.
Was that Lauren?
Kathy. Okay.
Oh, Kathy. Okay, thank you, Kathy.
Kathy.
It needs to
Okay.
pass by a 2/3 vote.
Okay, is there any discussion about it? No. Okay, all right, again. Any dissenting votes to the motion that was just proposed?
Let's catch Janet up for a quick second so she knows what the vote is on the, Jennifer
Jenny's here.
is
Yes.
here. So there's an addition to the agenda, Jen, if you're there. I hope you're there. She's connecting to audio right now.
Okay.
Jen, if you can hear us, the vote is, the motion was to include transportation as an addition to the agenda in the human services report. And you are muted, so if you want to unmute to let us know that you heard me.
Jen, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so now the other thing is we have roll call votes, but we are doing them where we are only if there is if you do not approve of the motion and there is a dissenting vote, then speak up, okay? Having heard the motion, do you want it read, or is everybody aware of the motion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion to add transportation program to the agenda, to the human services agenda? Any dissenting vote? It has to be a roll call vote because we're Zooming, guys. Arnie, this has gotten very confusing. I don't think it's saving time at all. I think it's actually taking more time. So,
Do it however you would like to do
okay,
it.
I would like to
You're
do
in
roll
charge,
call.
Susan.
I would like to do, good. I'd like to do roll call votes. It's too confusing otherwise, okay? I will read your name and please, we have a motion on the floor right now. Janet,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you for being willing to change, Arnie. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the FY23 operating budget. Jeanette?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to count something. I think I made a mistake here. Hold on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's 7. I don't know. I was adding 6 and 1 and I got more than 7. So it has been a long day.
Right.
So I'm going to walk you guys through a little bit of the budget. First, I just wanted to read you from my report that the operating budget was reviewed by Susan and Pat last week. I made some changes per their requests. I have here the letter of transmittal, the general description, and a new format of the budget, which is an Excel that I've turned into a PDF to be able to send it to you. I apologize for how small it is, but I can make my share screen a little bit bigger, so hopefully that'll help. The letter of transmittal is where we're going to start if you want to follow along. And I'm not going to share screen on the letter itself. It should be in your packet. Basically what the letter of transmittal does is it outlines what changes have happened to the budget in this year. Not a lot. We have level funded pretty much everything, with the exception of a couple of things that are beyond our control and a couple of things that, due to inflation, we really just don't have a choice over them. So first, the paragraph that jumps out at you will be the FY24 budget compares very favorably with the department's FY23 budget. The budget request in 23 minus the revenue that was projected was $471,586. This year, with revenue projected, our budget is $471,022. You'll notice it actually went down, but that's because our projected revenue has gone up, not because the budget has gone down. The items that you'll look at in the budget are the buyback sick went up by a couple $100. Christy was not yet fully vested in the buyback sick program. And now being fully vested, the number from finance went up by $200 to cover that line item. Regional services. And if I'm going too fast, please tell me to slow down. If I'm doing too much detail, please tell me to hurry up. Regional services for the 3rd year in a row, QVHD, Quinnipiac Valley Health District, has raised their rates per capita. I tried to balk about this last year and was told quite clearly by our board members on that regional board to shut up and pay it, basically. I can't be any more blunt than what I was actually told. So you will pay it. As it serves the entire town and not human services solely, it's not something that I can try to offset. This serves the schools, it serves businesses, restaurants, it serves other departments. It's all outlined in the letter of transmittal, the work they do for the whole town, including wells, for new constructions, inspection, and it's all outlined. So they went up pretty significantly again, 3rd year in a row. There was a minor raise in fee for Women and Families Center, which does incredible work, and I would never want to cut them back. initially asked for $500 and I said, no, that's like twice our budget for that line item. And they said, oh yeah, sorry. And they went up by 50. They not only assist women in crisis for assault with advocacy, they go to the hospital, they go to trials or court cases. They are really, even if it was one person, and it's not, trust me, it's a much bigger number than that. It is certainly worth having this as a service in the town. So the next thing is office supplies. The line item, I've increased it by about 6%. Inflation, just about 7%. So, Post-it notes just cost what they cost. I don't know that we'll be funded this additional request, but I certainly don't want to cut back on our already very thin line of what we provide ourselves in terms of copy paper and printer cartridges. Programs and publicity. We'll be opening a new center at the end of this year, going into next year. And we're going to need to get folks back used to coming to these programs. We're going to need to kick off a few extra programs. Christy thought that a $1,400 increase was very minor. It'll allow us to do a few more programs, pay for some more supplies that is much needed in a new center. And youth services, you can't imagine trying to run any of these programs, hiring a DJ or an inflatable at the budget that we've had in the past. Nancy is going to go in depth, go through a little bit more of what they're asking. We're asking Bethany to contribute more, to actually share hard costs with us. I don't want to steal Nancy's thunder, but there's a level that we were asking them to fund by participation. And at this point, we're asking them to share hard costs 50-50 because you really just can't hire a third of a DJ. You really need to split the cost of a DJ. And that's it for the letter of transmittal. I would love for you guys to take a look at page 2. Oh, I did forget the capital budget. There's a line item in the operating budget, which is a non-recurring capital budget line item that is under $5,000. Our capital budget is for things that is over $5,000. This is for under $5,000. And Christy and I have identified a little bit of office furniture that we're going to need in the consultation office in the new senior center. It's much smaller than it used to be. So a smaller sized desk and a chair to go with it. Not a lot to ask. And we're getting in at around $1,500. That includes shipping costs and will likely come in under that, but costs continually go up. So we're hoping to at least have that approved. I think most of you are familiar with the general description that basically tells what each part of the department does: human services, which is social services, youth services, and senior services. And then it goes through our accomplishments of the year and our major objectives for the next year. There are some performance indicators. We've added one new one. We noticed in the recreation department that they outline a couple of their regular programs, but then they have other programs as a category, and it was kind of a big number. And so we looked at ours and said, hey, we kind of have a big number too. So we outlined in the past senior center lunch program and transportation program as specific numbers that people could follow along with each year as they increased or leveled out. Senior center other programs is sort of a new category, but since Christy's keeping such great data, we thought we'd include that, and it's a nice number of close to 4,000 hits per year of attendance. I'm going to share screen if everybody's sort of up to date with me and ready for me to try this out. I'm not going to share probably with the actual budget, it's cumbersome, and you have to click on each has an attachment of the narrative. The narratives don't flow. So the form I gave you should be here somewhere, was here before.
At the beginning,
I'm sorry.
I thought it was closer to the beginning, but
Okay, well,
if
I'm
the-
suddenly not seeing it in my windows. So give me a second. I'm going to minimize you guys and find it, and I'm going to come right back. Oh, it closed. Okay, well, that's not a good thing.
are you trying to find what you sent us?
I'm actually, no, Pat, I had a version on my screen that I could work with, but you're right, it is actually saved. So let me, give me 1 second. Isn't that always the way? I even tested it to make sure it would be there, and somehow it disappeared. So let me see. Fortunately, this is not the right copy of it. Yeah, this isn't the right copy of it. I only actually have the copy that was sent out in error. Let's see if I can find the correct copy. Now, let's see. Well, thank you for your patience. I am going to have to find something to put up here. Yeah, that's not here anymore.
Do you not have the recent copy that Ellen mailed out today, Jeanette?
Yeah,
Do
so
you want me to email that to you quickly?
do you have that copy?
I do.
That'd be great, because otherwise I can't.
I'll forward you the email, then you can just pull it
All
out.
right, because she didn't send that to me.
Sent it.
Okay. Thank you, Christy. All right. Trying to get this as large as that might. How does that work for everybody?
Looks good, Jeanette. It really does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So rather than go line item to line item, I think what we're going to do is ask for any questions. Does anyone have any questions about what these line items refer to? I have added in a few extra lines over last year. Before, we did not have the drivers spelled out here. With this new online version of the budget, I was able to make subheads. So this part-time all other line item is now literally spelled out with who's in it. so you can see it. I added these people in and was able to we have a wage analysis sheet that we fill out. And so that was in there. We have general professional services. This covers the meal program. I was able to add in this year the regional services. So we have a relationship with BH Care team, which handles all of our fuel assistance and much other stuff. It's a wonderful regional agency. Greater New Haven Transit District hasn't raised their price in years. They shouldn't say that too loud, but they're pretty great. Women and Family Center, I went over that $50 increase. This line item, $1,620. I'm keeping it in there, although I am looking to replace these services. I have some work I've been doing with the Orange VNA, who thinks they can do a Ask the Nurse program for us at no cost. I'm just trying to figure out if that happens and we don't have a relationship with what used to be VNA Home Care and Hospice and was bought by Yale and is now Home Care Plus Community Health Care and Hospice. If we don't have that relationship with them, will they come and do a flu clinic once a year at no cost, or will we lose that relationship? That said, I'm looking elsewhere for the flu clinics. $1,620 for a twice per month Ask the Nurse program seems a bit costly. And so if I can get OVNA, Orange VNA, to come in and do it at no charge, that's what we're going to do, and get a flu clinic elsewhere. So that's hanging out there for next year, just because, you know, if I take it out and I need it back, I'm not getting it. But it may reduce our budget ultimately before the end of this fiscal year, heading into next fiscal year. And it may not be there for next year. I can't see you all because of the way my screen is right now, sharing it, but are there any questions? Just speak up. We increased this line item for advertising when we need to replace a driver, or in the past year when we've needed to hire for another position. Each time we usually use Indeed, but we also go into the Woodbridge Town News, and they have raised their rates to $75 each occurrence. Makes no sense to have a $250 line item. And theoretically, we won't use all of this. We're fully staffed right now, but we will have to do, we will be looking for kitchen help next year when we open. So we'll see. We're, covering our bases here. I think overall, this is probably the most prudent, scaled down version of a budget you can possibly have. There's no fluff. There's nothing left to cut. There's nothing. And I think residents, by and large, will recognize that it costs more to heat your house. It costs more to buy your groceries. It costs more to live right now. And that the town budget is much like everything else, and it will go up. It will go up. And there's no way to make it level or go down in a year like this. So I hope reasonable minds will realize. Other departments maybe not as prudent as we, but I feel like we are as close to it as we possibly can. Is there anything else? I'm sort of flying through here, but this is where we raised the office supplies by $200. The furniture and fixtures, we added $1,500 in here. Nancy's line item went up by I think about $600. So that's where we stand.
Okay.
Good. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. If there's a specific question, we can look at our hard copies. We will need a motion to approve.
I
Okay,
do
so
have
I'll-
one
I'll ask my
question.
I was just
Can I-
waiting for questions. Yes.
I'll ask my one question of the evening if I can.
Oh, you get
Um,
more than one.
Okay, just in terms of salaries for clerical, human services director and that and whatnot, I see that they're flat.
Right, we got no raise this year.
Okay, and that's not, raise isn't mandated or any way,
No.
shape, or form?
I have to say, if you really dug deep in this budget, and I didn't talk about it because it's actually happened already. You guys know about it. You voted on it. There was a small increase to the driver's salary. I found it within the hours. We had budgeted for more hours than we needed, so able to cut back in a few of the hours, but pay them for a little bit more to get them to $18 per hour. So you already know about that. Similarly, in Nancy's budget, for the one person who has stuck with her for 15 years as a per diem employee, we raised her slightly, but also within the hours. We cut back on programming, that we're down to 5 programs so that we're able to move that money around. But overall, the answer to your question is there is no raise. So there's no percentage of the entire budget going up. It's not to say, and I told this to some of the staff, I might not have told it to all of them, that at a later date, the union, we're not a part of the union, but we do benefit from their negotiations. The union could negotiate at the end of their time for a raise, a percentage raise, an increase of, 1%, 1.5%, whatever. And there have been times in my time here that they've made it retroactive they back it up to the first of the year. So that we don't know about it now and we're not budgeting for it does not mean that there's not a contingency that the town has to include that at a later date. Doesn't mean we're getting it, but we will do with, in a year that prices have gone up, we will do with the same. Thanks for the question.
Doesn't seem right.
I think Kathy had a question too, right? Kathy?
I did, although I may be jumping ahead. It's really more for Nancy, the comment earlier about Bethany paying for their, share of the programming. Have you gotten that in writing, Nancy?
No, we are, I submit a letter to the first selectman and then we will meet over it if they don't agree to it, because their amount will go up considerably and we may have to negotiate, but I really feel that we have done more than our fair share through the years.
For the decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If you need any help with that, I'm happy to help you push. Let me know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now that might be
Appreciate it.
very nice, Kathy.
Mhm.
That might be very helpful. Nancy and I were planning to do the meeting, but we always welcome commission members to help. So
Just let me know.
we'll
Thank
see.
you.
Maybe Susan wants to come too.
I think I'll let
Thank
you.
Are there any other questions on the budget?
If there are none, then I ask for a motion to accept FY23 operating budget. We've already voted on the
Move to
capital
accept
budget.
the budget.
Second,
Okay, seconded by Pat?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion, any more discussion? No, okay. I will call for a roll call vote. Janet,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Pat,
yes,
Lauren,
yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
myself, yes. Okay,
7-0.
Jen?
next item.
Can I just say one thing? It is very helpful to have all your feedback. And I really want to thank Susan and Pat for taking the time to come in and helping me go through it. you know, it's at a point where most of it's done, but it helps me refocus on some of it to explain it. And I find that very helpful. So thank you to Pat and thank you to Susan too.
Welcome. I was about to say, thank the entire staff and you for all the hard work on the budget. It's, it represents a lot of hours. Next item on the agenda is youth services. Nancy, would you please give your report?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Yes, so for programming, we had a lot of fun with the kids this year. We did a holiday cookie decorating and craft party, and Jamie Joy was great. She's just really great with the kids, and we had more kids signed up, honestly, than showed up. We had 19 who showed up that day, but there were people calling every day, the day before, the day of the program. They were so interested in it. It was just, we had to say, okay, enough, because we had to print our forms and get up there. But we actually had 21 signed up, and we would have had more had we, allowed more, but we had to cut it off at one point. But the kids really, they had a great time. They decorated lots of cookies. They ate a lot of cookies. I had munchkins. We had hot chocolate. So we sent them home with a little extra sugar that day. But they really did enjoy it, and they were really very creative. And they also they had some time, so they made like some cards that I could deliver to the homeless shelter to go along with the We Care bags the kids made. And so, speaking of We Care bags, we had a drop-off day on December 7th, and many students showed up, and so we were able to sign off on community service for those kids. We also had residents calling saying, can I bring linens? Do they have to be new or used? One person dropped off a couple bags with fresh new pillows in them. We had blankets, comforter. We had baskets with beautiful, nice mittens and gloves, hats and scarves. It was just amazing. And we just had such nice items, toiletries and snacks and, water bottles. So last week, the driver, Mike, and I loaded up the van, the senior center van, and drove the van down, and we really filled, a good part of the reception area with all the donations. So I really handed to our residents and the students. They were wonderful. Actually, one of the teachers at the middle school knew we were doing it, and she wanted to do more, so she had her classroom make some as well. So it was really wonderful to see. And I think I estimated that the donations came up to $1,500, but my guess is it was probably more. But it was nice, just so nice to see, and heartwarming to see what people will donate. Toys for Kids, we collected about 50 toys in the boxes locally and donated those. They came and picked it up for Team for their Toys for Kids program, and some of our local families benefit from that as well. Shop with a Cop, we applied for 3 gift cards. I actually would have done one extra, but one person just didn't get back to us. So there were 3 gift cards. They were $150 each to Target this year. So some kids got to go with police officers. The police actually, Vinnie Lynch sat down with a person at Beecher Road School, and they actually applied for 3 extras for themselves too. So luckily, they were awarded some as well, and I think they did take some kids out to dinner and provided some shopping time for their kids too. So it's really nice to see. Santa visits, we really appreciate the volunteer fire department once again. They went out and did their run and just visited many of our clients' children. And so we're just very grateful. And I'm very grateful also to Ellen McDonald, because she really coordinated a lot of it, and, got the list and called everyone and made sure that, each kid had the toys that they wanted. So it was really wonderful to see. Artie Dixon, I don't know if any of you recall, but he is a drummer from Orange, and he has, every year he has a party. It's the Sunday before Christmas, and he rents out all of Woodwinds in Branford, and everyone who attends that party brings a toy. And they fill up, they have one of these staircases that goes up and turns into a double staircase, and that thing is entirely full. It's amazing to see it. I've been to a few of his parties, and since he's a great musician, he knows a lot of other great musicians, and the entertainment's fantastic. But he showed up the day after the party with one of his elves, and they brought 4 huge bags of toys that were just chock full of toys that we were able to give to our clients, and a 2-wheeler bike that we were able to give to one of our clients. And she said, "Oh, I was just thinking I should have gotten one for my son." And it was just perfect. So again, we are so grateful to everyone for their kindness. And we still have a few toys left that are like for younger kids, toddlers. So we were in touch with Columbus House, and they'll take them for their homeless shelter. Community service. We had still kids helping with Tech Tuesdays, and I think we just signed up another person who wants to help, and we might even have a third if we have enough takers on that. And of course, lots of kids helped with the We Care bags. We also had some kids in sorting food too. We have a prevention program coming up. We just got the details settled on Friday with the school district. So we will have 2 people coming in and presenting for a prevention program on January 25th. It's going to be a virtual program, so the information will go out to parents. And we will have Tricia Dahl from Yale. She'll be speaking about vaping and the dangers of vaping. And then we'll have Lori McFarland from the Alliance for Prevention and Wellness. She'll talk about fentanyl and also edibles, because and especially going forward, I think we really do need to be concerned about edibles and the dangers. So parents do need to know. I am also trying to schedule time within the school so that Tricia Dahl can come in and present on vaping to the kids as well, because we haven't done that program. I don't think they got it last year, so they're due for a little update. And of course, the middle school students haven't heard it yet, so we'll do it there. Juvenile Review Board, we're still waiting on Town Council to review forms, but we are going to go ahead and try to, the forms that we had were examples. It was an example from another regional board, but I think what we'll do is go ahead, try to reword it so that we may get Bethany Orange Woodbridge, and then maybe we can, present the updated to him. It might be easier to have council review that. What else? We have a winter paint party coming up. We just scheduled that. We finished scheduling that today on February 1st, so it'll be right after school at the middle school. And our artist, Samantha Woodruff, wasn't available. She took another position, and so we are going with another group called Picasso Party that we found. And actually, the fee is a little bit cheaper with them, so we'll charge $15 a student, and we'll provide snacks. And Jamie Joy did a little survey. So what we did a survey just to the kids who attended our last 2 after-school programs, just to get an idea of what the kids want to paint, because we have a lot of samples. So we're already getting some answers back. So it may be a Valentine thing, it may be a puppy, or no, I don't know. But I think it'll be fun either way. And we do have kids who just seem, very interested in kind of sticking with these after-school programs. So we want to keep it rolling. So budget, I should talk about budget. All right. I know that you have the overall budget that was sent to you, and you might notice direct service programming. So we do not provide a lot of direct services and what DCF would consider direct services. We don't have mental health services here. So what we did was we put in the expense, and then we also put in the revenue for that grant to see if we can use it in some way, if we can provide something possibly at Beecher Road School, because there are services being provided to the middle school and high school. So we may be able to do that, but I'll have to work it out with DCF to make sure we pay it properly. So that money will come in and go out. If it doesn't get spent, we would send it back, but we will try to make sure that is used in the best way possible. As Jeanette said, we did want to increase one of our evening program staff because she has been with us so very long, and it's almost embarrassing what we pay evening program staff, honestly, for all that they do. And so we wanted to make sure she had a little advantage in that. We just want to say thank you in a bit. If you look at chart 1, what we did was we broke out the Bethany portion and the Woodbridge portion, but what we did this year, we were trying to hit the fixed costs and share that 50-50 instead of just based on their percentage of Bethany kids who attend the programs. We just feel like, as Jeanette said, you can't hire a part of a DJ, and these fixed costs have been going up, up, up. And we have a DJ who's been charging less, but he can't possibly be at every program. He's a teacher. He is a middle school teacher somewhere else, so he couldn't do the 7th grade picnic this year. So I had to build in a little extra for higher cost DJ. We have so many requirements between insurance and all that. That one of the DJs who worked for us this year said he wouldn't work with us again because we had too many requirements, too much paperwork for him. So we keep trying. But the DJ and inflatable costs have gone way up, and we really had not built that into the budget much before this. And they're trying to make up for lost time with their losses over COVID too. So I don't know if anyone has any questions with this, but we also will be asking Bethany for some additional monies for administrative costs here. I spend a lot of time on these programs, and it wasn't billed as much. Ellen spends time coordinating. We all answer the phones, and we just felt it was time to ask for some additional. And also for speakers, because we pay for speakers in the school as well. And that comes out of our programming money, but we feel that, the Bethany kids benefit from that at the middle school. And we want to present that in a way that, is fair. And I know that Paula Cofrancisco, the first selectman there, is, she's very aware of what we try to do for the kids. And she worked at the school district, I think that, and she worked at Beecher. So I think that she will at least understand that costs have gone up and that, we should be contributing more together. So hopefully we'll put the request in and we'll try to meet with them. And I thank you for your support, because I think it's important that we have your support. Thanks for your question. Any questions on anything that you see there? And otherwise, we tried to be very conservative with our figures. We know that supplies are going up, but we tried to be very conservative, but practical as well. And try to keep some programming. You realize the evening programs, we used to do 10 evening programs a year. And now we do 5. And we do help contribute to the 8th grade graduation dance as well.
Thank you very much, Nancy, for that comprehensive report. Are there any questions? If not, then I need a motion to accept Nancy's youth services report.
I'll make a motion to accept Nancy's report.
And a second?
I can second.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. Okay. All those in favor, roll call vote. Janet,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Pat,
yes,
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy, and myself. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Christy, would you please give us the Woodbridge Center report?
Sure. I want to start out apologizing. I'm at Judy's computer and the camera angle is to the side. So it looks like I'm looking off to the side, and I'm really looking at all of you. So I apologize for that. Masks are currently required again for all senior center programming at the center due to now being at the high level on the CDC community little tool. In December, we had the Gnome wine topographed that was sponsored by Hamden Health. We had the cardiovascular lunch and learn that was presented by Beckett Harris. The lunch and learn on conservatorship, guardianship, and supported decision making, which was presented by Drazen Rubin Law. And we had the Immersion Christmas in London experience that was provided by Hamden Health. And they all were well attended and they all went very smoothly. We also had the holiday drive-through luncheon that was sponsored by the Rotary. Lassie's provided a delicious meal again, as always. And we had 3 of the Rotary members that helped out distributing the lunch to a record 140 attendees, which was really nice. Coming up in January, we have an introduction to mindfulness class starting tomorrow. That's going to be led by Dr. Jed Botwick. of the New Haven Naturopathic Center. It'll be a free 4-week session offered in collaboration with the library. We also have 2 lunch and learns happening this month. The first one will be on January 11th on decluttering and organizing your home, and it'll be given by the Holly Shambrom team of Coldwell Banker Real Estate, and they will also be providing lunch. And then on the 25th, we'll have another lunch and learn that's called New Year, New Joints, and it's given by Kyle Brandet of Amity Physical Therapy, and that presentation will be on knee and hip replacements. And lunch for that will be provided by Coachman Square at Woodbridge. We also are going to have a sock snowman craft that will be provided by Hampton House on January 19th. Our aerobics and fitness instructor, Laura Brickling, will be unable to teach the aerobics and the fitness class in person from January 5th through February 3rd due to a family emergency. I tried to reach out to several local senior centers to try to get a substitute for the classes, but I was not able to do so. So we will be offering the classes on Zoom for the fitness center or for the fitness class, and on Zoom with an option to participate in person in the meeting room of the library for the aerobics class. And that'll be projected on the big screen over there. The no-cost defensive drivers course that we have offered in the past through AAA is not being offered in Connecticut at the present time due to restructuring in the company. A very similar course will be offered to clients in March and May through AARP for a cost of $20 for members and $25 for non-members. We started the process of scheduling programs such as drive-through luncheons and lunch and learns, craft workshops, etc., for the first half of the calendar year, with the hope that for the second half of the year we will be in the renovated senior center. It's a tedious process to schedule the programs at this time. It involves calling over to the library or rec first to see when the schedule is, the schedule to see when the rooms are available, and reaching out to the instructors or the presenters to see if those dates are available. If they're not, then you have to reach back out to the library and rec to try to find other days. I just want to underscore how difficult in general it's been not having a senior center for the past year and a half. There's a small number of staff in human services, as you all know, and it always amazes me how much everyone accomplishes in the department, and I'm very proud to be part of it. Everyone always helps each other out when needed without hesitation, but starting with the flood and then going into the renovation during the pandemic really has had an impact on the whole department. And we've done what we could to maintain a connection from the senior center to the community during this time by encouraging participation at the senior center. It's a lot for Jess and I to go to each of the various programs, bringing equipment back and forth to the library, the gym, and room 16 from the human services corridor. But we feel it's really important to maintain this connection. Making accommodations to continue these programs during circumstances such as when Laura is out and needs to Zoom, that's the aerobics instructor, or when one of us is out, really adds to the difficulty. To offer aerobics in person on Zoom projected on the screen of the library requires that we set up the laptop in the meeting room ahead of time, that we monitor it for technical difficulty, and then that we're there right at the end so that we can make sure the laptop's not left unattended. Last week I had COVID and unfortunately had to be out for the week. And this week I'm keeping a distance from programs as the age group is vulnerable. Other human services staff had to step in and, among other things, cover the phones and help go to programs to start them and address any client concerns. And I wouldn't expect anything less from them. And I'm very grateful that everyone stepped in as usual. But it's taxing, and it's why it's important to keep pushing to get the center renovation completed as soon as possible. So I just thought it was important to emphasize the difficulty it is during this time. Lastly, as far as the transportation drivers, Joe has gone through his orientation. Joe Bonaldo, the new transportation driver, he's done very well. He's learned everything very quickly, and with his outgoing personality, he's just a very welcomed addition to the staff at the senior center. Are there any questions?
Oh, keep it up.
Yes. I would just like to say that it hasn't gone unnoticed, how challenging it has been, and in anything that has been written, that I've written, we've mentioned that what a challenge it is to see the numbers as great as they are. It's like dancing backwards in high heels, and I can't speak for everyone on the commission, but I think I can say that we all know how challenging it has been. And I did write my quarterly report, liaison report for the, instead of having the liaisons make a presentation now, a chair writes a quarterly report, and it was mentioned,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
we're able to do still, all the programs are offered that always were, despite the fact that though we have with the flood, and no senior center with the very long extended construction time. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
Hope you're feeling okay.
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
Right, exactly. And COVID on top of everything. So anyhow, are there any questions for Christy? If not, thank you very much, Christy, for all you do. And I will need a report to accept Christy's Woodbridge Center report, a motion rather.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Is
Great
that
job,
Jen?
Christy. Yes.
Jen, okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. And a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
Pat, I heard your voice first.
Sorry, Jane.
Thank you very much. Okay. Roll call vote to accept the Woodbridge Center report, Christie's report. Janet,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes,
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes,
and myself, yes. Okay. Jeanette, will you please give us the Human Services report with the addition
Yes,
to the agenda?
right, correct.
Transportation.
So the renovation of the senior center, it's really moving. I think it is moving in the right direction. We have a meeting Wednesday morning at 8:30. I'm sure that Susan will be there. And we'll find out whether or not the mechanicals have been ordered. They were supposed to be separated out from the rest of the electrical issues that we were having, and ordered, but we've not gotten that report. So that'll be the first question of the day on Wednesday, to make sure that the mechanicals are ordered, and that, once that stuff is all ordered, it will all fall into place pretty quickly. Most of the framing is done. We have chosen a new ceiling tile, since the ceiling tile we picked out was not available at a price that the builder wanted to pay. Flooring tile had been discontinued. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to run into the problems of an old building coupled with the economy and accessibility of products. Armstrong Tile went out of business. Everything that we chose is pretty much work that we're repeating. But it seems to have been accepted. We'll find out Wednesday morning. And I really think that in a very few months, we're going to see a complete transformation of the space. I think Olympus wants to put this project behind them. I think our Silver Petroselli wants to put this behind them. And I know Christy and Susan and I and the rest of the staff feel the same way. So we'll have a better update after Wednesday, but I feel pretty good about moving ahead at this point. Renovation of the senior center building. Dwight is actually the chairman of that committee. I'll just update you to say that Silver Petroselli was chosen as the A&E firm. That on Wednesday evening, Dwight is requesting for 2 separate projects. The steep grant that came in for the center building gymnasium has been separated out from the rest of the building. It's a $500,000 steep grant, and Dwight is asking for 22.5 from the Board of Selectmen. Is that my memory, Dwight?
It's 27,250, which includes.
Okay, I got the numbers backwards.
It's phases 1 through 5.
Right, so that will bring us to potentially to construction on that with some drawings for phase 1, and moving on. That project should move ahead, and frankly, Susan and I were reminiscing about how the senior center was accomplished, and that it started out very small. We got the grant for the bathroom and the ramp, and then we painted the place, and then we got new carpeting, and it was just a process to start building toward a complete renovation of the space. And finally, people understood it was momentum. And here we are, we have the senior center moving ahead, and then we'll move ahead with the gym. It's likely people might start feeling the momentum of the building and let us move ahead with the whole building. A little bit more costly to do a whole building, especially one that's as old as this, but we're very hopeful. And on Wednesday night, Dwight will also be asking for phase 1 of the design to go forward, and that's a little bit more money at $55,000, and we'll see what the appetite is at the Board of Selectmen for that appropriation in the middle of a budget where it hadn't been budgeted before. But we are at a point where the A&E firm is ready to go. Would you say that's correct, Dwight?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I stopped in and I dropped off my the packet to Jerry Shaw today, so that the Board of Selectmen had the memo along with some backup, the RFP and everything else, so that they'll understand where we are. And I talked to Beth and I said, we're at a point right now where, okay, we have to keep moving. I mean, we can't sit until July and not do anything when we've made really good steps towards where we are today. And it would be a shame not to proceed. So I think she's in favor of it, but I think it's really to find the funds for phase 1 so we can continue with the project along with the gym too. So.
Well, we'll hope for the best, Dwight. Thank you for your hard work on this. No, I didn't put this into my report, but I'm just sort of sliding it in here under sort of the programming aspect of it. That you'll see in my report that I submitted that we've partnered up with Griffin Hospital and the DPH mobile van to run a all ages COVID clinic here on January 31st. It's 6 months to 103. Whatever you are, you're welcome to come. It's no appointment necessary. CDC is saying to keep current on your boosters for little ones to get vaccinated. So if at all anybody's behind in their boosters, this would be a great opportunity. No appointment necessary. just come to the center gymnasium from 1 to 6 on the 31st. That's a little plug for that. But it's great to team up with Griffin, DPH. They're doing these things and they're very easy to work with. Literally, I had the thing planned in 20 minutes of time with a representative of the mobile unit. And in 20 minutes, he had sent me a flyer that I didn't have to create. So they're pretty awesome. And we've been in collaboration with OVNA on this as well, because OVNA has been doing this and has 5 more scheduled. So if somebody comes here for their first shot, they can go to, if they're, starting a kid in the first of their series, then they can go to High Plains for the second vaccine. I will morph into the VITA program. Ellen has worked tirelessly already with the volunteers, the VITA volunteers. We will be starting, I believe, February 7th, and we'll run through April, beginning of April. We will have in-person volunteers. Appointments are available. We thought we were going to be down to 2 volunteers and have to cut way back, but the 3rd volunteer is ready and available, and this 3rd volunteer can also do the online help. So we really will be close to what we've offered in years past with our capabilities. And it's a great program for a lot of people. I checked the numbers for last year, and we helped with approximately 250 returns, which is a lot of work. Pat actually asked me to check that number, and Ellen came back with 250. So it's a lot of help being given. And then the added item is the transportation item, and that's just to let you know that the police department delivered a 2008 Crown Victoria today with 180,271 miles on it, which is slightly more than the, I'm sorry, it's a 2007 Crown Victoria. It's slightly more miles, I think, than our current 2008 vehicle. We have asked Tony Genovese if we can maintain both of them, so that if one is getting maintenance, the other one will be available. And there are days where we'll need one for a medical and to deliver some meals. So, it's not the answer to this problem. I spoke with Beth today, and she said, I told her we got the car, and she said, great, tell me it has less than 150,000 miles on it. And I said, nope. And she recognizes that this does not solve our problem. It's a pretty beat up car, the police aren't gentle with these things. They need to use them, and they run these things. There's kind of a little slope in the front seat where the officer has been sitting. I sat in it today. I'm a little small in the vehicle, but yeah. So I wanted to let you know that we did receive this vehicle. We are pursuing, Christie's ordering some adhesive stickers that will have the town logo for it. And we're pursuing plates through the Public Works Department for it. In years past, we've traded in one plate for the other. So we move the plate that's on the current car and put it on the new older car. But we can't do that in this situation. So Public Works seems to think they have a couple extra plates around for us. They have to be municipal plates. So that's the big news. Just thought I'd let you know about that and add it to the agenda on tonight's meeting. And that's it for me.
Sounds like you got chitty chitty bang bang or something, right? I'm thinking, so, anyhow. Oh.
Can you use the siren still, though?
No, they removed all the fun parts.
Oh, gosh. Anyhow. Okay, thank you, Jeanette, for a long report, comprehensive report. Are there any questions? Okay, I need a motion to accept Jeanette's Human Services report.
I so move that we
Okay,
accept the
thank you.
report.
Thank you, Kathy. Second,
I second.
thank you, Jen. Okay. Roll call vote. Janet,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes,
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes,
myself. Yes. Okay, unanimous. Moving through the agenda, we have old business, new business. I would like to read an email that was sent to Beth. It's timely. We're talking about transportation, and I know that we have talked often about how important transportation is as part of our services offered by the Woodbridge Center. In a town where there is no public transportation, transportation is very important. So this was sent to Beth, and it's always nice to read something that's complimentary. And so I will read it. It was an email sent to Beth Heller. Dear Beth, I am so grateful for the support from Christy, Jessica, and the drivers who have supported me during the past /present challenging time for me. I lost sight in my right eye in 2021 and have been unable to drive. I have had several surgeries and my health was compromised due to medicinal side effects. The Senior Center's transportation program enabled me to go to all my doctor's appointments. The drivers have all been wonderful. Everyone cares at the center with birthday wishes and holiday greetings. Thank you for providing the service and appointing a compassionate professional staff. Sincerely, Marjorie Weiner. Okay, I thought you all should
very nice.
share in this lovely.
excellent.
Okay, so next meeting is February 6th, 2023 on Zoom again, because we are in the red and the danger zone. And so again, does anybody have anything else they would like to say, or again, always seems so abrupt, but
I'll say, that note that you read, Susan, in my experience, for every one of those, there's 10 other folks out there who had the same experience but didn't bother to write a note.
couldn't agree more, Arnie, really. And as we move forward and now more than ever, I mean, we've been through the pandemic and we're back in challenging times. And I think more than ever, Human Services can feel so proud of all that we offer to the residents of Woodbridge, from transportation to fuel to food to programming that's just amazing, and youth services to, always, the old programs are there, but always everyone is creating new ones. And it's nice to end on a happy note, guys, right?
I just want to add, I talked about the staff in general while I was out, but Jessica really steps up and she's just really efficient, and she's just amazing at everything she does and everything she handles and on an everyday basis, but even more so when I'm not there. So I just want to add that.
Okay.
I would also like to commend all of our staff members, and I just have to say, I was at church yesterday and someone came up to me and thanked me for helping this person. She said, "Oh, thanks for helping with that situation." I said, "Which one?" Because we help with a lot of situations, but I didn't know which one she was referring to. And she told me which one, and I said, well, it was a pleasure to help this particular family. And of course, Judy stepped right in and helped get, oil for a family that, had no heat and was just worried, using kerosene heaters with kids in the family. So, I can't say enough about just how everybody does step up and help out, and it is noticed and it is appreciated in the community. I think it's just that the people that we help are not always the ones to speak up. You know, they're in situations where it's confidential, and so they don't always tell people, you know, of their situation. So it's nice to be able to help people. We always wish we could do more.
Right, everyone. Next meeting, February 6th. Stay safe.
So we adjourned?
Oh, wait a second.
Oh,
I forgot. I needed a motion to adjourn.
I was
No
just gonna
wonder-
say, I
no
was like,
wonder we're not. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just so after
Just
the
my
mo-
nice way of
Yes,
prompting
okay.
you.
Thank you very much. We do need a motion to adjourn, and then
I'll
we'll
make the motion.
Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you. I was wondering, why are we not, you know? Very good.
I'll
So that was-
second
Second
it.
for the motion, a second?
I'll second it.
Who made the motion then? I thought Janet did, but
That was Jen.
We
Jen.
made it together.
Jen and
all
Jen.
right, Jen and
Okay.
Janet, got it.
Okay, and we don't even need to vote, guys. It's by
No.
acclamation, all right?
We all want to go home. So happy
Yes.
New Year, everyone. It
Yes.
was good to see you all.
Happy New Year,
Yes, Happy
everyone.
New
It was
Year,
nice seeing
everyone.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Happy New Year. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
I'm
Bye.
gonna close the meeting. Good night.
Yes,
Thanks.
yes,
Good night.
yes, perfect.